Hello there. In this video lecture, we're going to have a look at how to structure the perfect paragraph. Now, very often students are unaware of just how important the structure of paragraphs is in their assignments. There are basically three elements for successful academic writing. These are firstly, the style. Academic writing requires a formal style. You won't write an assignment in the same style as you would write a letter to a friend. Then, correct punctuation is an integral part of formal writing. And so you must pay attention to your punctuation. But perhaps the most important thing to get right in your academic writing is your paragraphing. Clear, logically written paragraphs are an expression of organized thought, and they show that you understand the material that you are writing about. So, exactly what is a paragraph? Well, firstly, it's a distinct section of a piece of writing, and it's always indicated by a new line. No matter which book you pick up, you will immediately be able to see where each paragraph starts and where it ends. And within that distinct piece of writing, you will find a number of sentences. These sentences will all be related to each other and deal with one idea or topic. And this is the crux of the paragraph. It deals with only one main idea or concept. It has a single focus. Next, I'd like to talk about the elements of a paragraph. In other words, the different things which must be in a paragraph to make it good. As I've already said, each paragraph is a distinct piece of writing, which must be physically easy to identify. Each new paragraph must start on a new line. Secondly, it must be focused. A paragraph must have one main idea, and only one main idea. This means that once you have stated the main idea in the paragraph, the rest of the sentences must back up the idea, using evidence, examples, or references to substantiate it. Now, the paragraph must be well organized. All the sentences in the paragraph must be related together and they must be clearly linked to each other. We call this the cohesion of the paragraph, and I'll be talking more about that in a while. Okay, so now that we know basically what a paragraph is, let's deconstruct it into the three qualities that make a successful paragraph. These are unity, which ensures that all the sentences in the paragraph focus on the one main idea. Coherence, where all the sentences are clearly related to each other. And development, where the main idea is supported with sufficient details and examples to give it validity. So, let's look at each one of those qualities in turn. Firstly, we said we must have unity. A paragraph must have what we call a topic sentence. This is the sentence which clearly states the main idea of that paragraph. It's usually a good idea to start the paragraph with the topic sentence, as this allows you to focus on the main idea and tells your reader what the main idea of that particular paragraph is. Every other supporting sentence in the paragraph must then contribute or relate to this main idea. If a supporting sentence doesn't relate to the topic sentence, you should discard it. A paragraph should never start with one point of discussion and end with another. Now, the topic sentence is made up of two essential parts. The first part of the topic sentence is the topic. That is the subject of the paragraph. And the second part of the topic sentence is the controlling idea. This makes a specific comment about the topic. Let's have a look at an example. Can you identify the topic sentence in this paragraph? In other words, the sentence which tells us what the main idea of that paragraph is. Hurricanes, which are also called tropical cyclones, exert tremendous power. These violent storms are often 100 miles in diameter, and their winds can reach velocities of 75 miles an hour or more. Furthermore, the strong winds and heavy rainfall that accompany them can completely destroy a small town in a couple of hours. The energy that is released by a hurricane in one day exceeds the total energy consumed by mankind throughout the world in 1 year. So, what do you think the topic sentence is here? Yep, it's the first sentence. Hurricanes, which are also called cyclones, exert tremendous power. The main idea is that hurricanes are very powerful. And if you think of the power that was unleashed by Hurricane Katrina on New Orleans at the end of August 2005, you'll know that is true. That's very good examples and evidence to back up your statement. Okay, now that we have the topic sentence, what is the topic? The topic is hurricanes. So the subject of this paragraph is hurricanes. And the controlling idea makes a specific comment about hurricanes. The comment here is that they exert tremendous power. Now, there could be other controlling ideas about the topic hurricanes. We could ask the 5 WH questions to generate different controlling ideas. These WH questions are who, what, where, when, and why. Let's look at the controlling ideas that could be generated through asking those 5 WH questions. Who? Here we could write a topic sentence which comments about who is affected by hurricane. For example, if we are talking about hurricanes in the United States, we could have a topic sentence like this. Hurricanes, which are also called tropical cyclones, mainly affect people in the United States who live in Florida and on the Gulf Coast. Here, the topic hasn't changed. It's still hurricanes. But the controlling idea makes a very, very different comment about hurricanes. Let's look at another example. Ask the question, what? Here the controlling idea will focus on what hurricanes are, not how powerful they are or whom they affect. So our sentence could be, hurricanes, which are also called tropical cyclones, are unique weather phenomena. The rest of the paragraph will then go on to discuss what makes them unique. Okay, let's move on to asking the question where. Hurricanes, which are also called tropical cyclones, regularly occur in 7 cyclone basins around the world. When? Hurricanes, which are also called tropical cyclones, regularly occur in summer and in autumn. Why? Hurricanes, which are also called tropical cyclones, are caused by warm ocean waters and thunderstorms. So, here we already have 6 different controlling ideas about hurricanes, each one creating a new paragraph. If we were writing a descriptive essay about hurricanes, we will already have 6 paragraphs. All we need to do is flesh each paragraph out, and we would basically have the body of our essay in place already. I can't emphasize enough how useful the WH questions are when you are planning what is going to go into each paragraph, regardless of what the topic is. You can also ask the question, how, to get a further paragraph if needed. So, that should help you understand what the topic sentence is all about. It consists of a topic and a controlling idea. Okay, let's move on then. The next thing we need to look at is where the topic sentence could come in the paragraph. I think it's best to make the topic sentence the first sentence of your paragraph. But this isn't set in stone. If the topic sentence is first, however, it's very, very useful to you as a student at undergraduate level because it focuses you on what the main idea in the paragraph is about. And also it indicates to your marker or your reader exactly what that paragraph is going to deal with. However, if you want to become creative, you can put the topic sentence elsewhere in the paragraph. It could be the last sentence of the paragraph, or it could be the first and the last sentence, like a sandwich, particularly if it's a very long paragraph. Or it could be stuck anywhere else in the paragraph. So there is no hard and fast rule about the position of the topic sentence. Let's have a look at a couple of examples. Can you identify the topic sentence in this paragraph? Remember, look for the main idea. Does a hot, humid summer's day make you feel grumpy? Does a rainy day make you feel depressed? The weather seems to affect people's moods. Hot weather makes some people irritable, while others love the heat and are very happy and cheerful on a summer's day. Others don't mind the heat, but say they hate it when it is humid, because the humidity makes them tired. So, what do you think the topic sentence is? Yes, it's the weather seems to affect people's moods. All the other sentences are explaining why it affects their moods and gives examples of how these moods are affected. But you can see how they all contribute to the unity of the paragraph, how they focus on that one main idea. So in this paragraph, the topic sentence is tucked away inside the paragraph. Let's try another one. What do you think the topic sentence is in this paragraph? In most schools, courses are offered in English, maths, science, geography, history, and physical education. Some schools also offer art, music, industrial science, home economics, computer science, foreign languages, business studies, and even agriculture lessons. A lot of schools provide the opportunity before, during, or after school for students to participate in sport, cultural clubs, and other activities. Schools are also there to help students with problems, reward students for achievement, punish students for unacceptable behavior, and in some cases, even to feed students, in addition to educating them. Schools address a large variety of needs. Did you find the topic sentence? Yeah, in this paragraph, the topic sentence is the last sentence of the paragraph. Schools serve a variety of needs. And once again, the other sentences explain what these needs are and give us examples. Now, from these examples, you can see how the unity of the sentences focuses on that one main idea. Right, let's move on to the second quality of a successful paragraph that I mentioned. That is coherence. Let's take a closer look at this. Coherence deals with how all those sentences in the paragraph are clearly related to each other. A paragraph is coherent if the details in all the sentences fit together in a way that the reader can easily follow what you are saying. I'm sure you've read a paragraph in a book and wondered what the author is trying to say. When this happens, there's usually a problem with the coherence of the paragraph. So, now that we know what coherence is, how do we go about achieving it? Well, if we create logical bridges from one sentence to another, which allows the same idea of the topic to be carried from one sentence to the other within the paragraph, then we should create coherence. Now, we can build these bridges in a number of ways. Firstly, we can just simply repeat key words. Let's go back to our paragraph on hurricanes and see if we can find key words being repeated. Hurricanes, which are also called tropical cyclones, exert tremendous power. These violent storms are often 100 miles in diameter, and their winds can reach velocities of 75 miles an hour or more. Furthermore, the strong winds and heavy rainfall that accompany them can completely destroy a small town in a couple of hours. The energy that is released by a hurricane in one day exceeds the total energy consumed by mankind throughout the world in 1 year. Now, what is the obvious key word in our topic sentence? Hurricanes. So, is it repeated anywhere in the paragraph? Yep, there it is. Now, another way to build cohesion between sentences is to substitute keywords with synonyms. Synonyms are words that almost mean the same thing. So let's look at our paragraph again and see if we can find any synonyms for hurricanes. The third way to achieve coherence is by using pronouns for already mentioned nouns in previous sentences. In our paragraph, we have them. Who are they? The Beach Boys? No, they're the Hurricanes. So here the pronouns are referring back to hurricanes again and building bridges between those sentences. And finally, we can create coherence by using transition words. Transition words are words that progress an idea through the paragraph. Words like as a result, furthermore, and so, similarly. Now, there are many transition words which you can use in order to indicate things like chronological order, relationships, order of importance, giving a result, etc. Can you identify any transition words in our paragraph on hurricanes? There's only one, furthermore. So, that completes the information you need to know about the coherence in a paragraph, how to make all those sentences stick together. Now, the third and final quality of a successful paragraph is development. Besides being unified and coherent, a paragraph should hold the reader's interest and explore the topic fully. The development takes the form of using details and evidence to support the assertion made in the topic sentence. Also, illustrating a point with examples can develop the main idea of the paragraph. You should use enough evidence and examples to convince your reader that the topic sentence's assertion is valid. Your evidence should illustrate the point, not simply restate it. Let's have a look at the developmental features in our paragraph on hurricanes. Firstly, the concept of the power of the hurricane is expressed through its physical size. Then, it's expressed through its speed. Thirdly, it's expressed through its capacity for destruction. And finally, it's developed through an example of its sheer power. These four explanations and examples develop the concept that a hurricane is indeed powerful, by giving evidence to substantiate this claim. So, to recap at this point, a successful paragraph must have unity, coherence, and development. To structure and develop a paragraph, we can use the TEE rule. T stands for topic sentence. Make sure your paragraph has a topic sentence. In our paragraph, the topic sentence is, hurricanes are powerful. The first E stands for explanation. Explain the topic sentence. Why are they powerful? Because they are large, because they move quickly. And the second E is for examples or evidence. The evidence of their power is that they can destroy a small town in a matter of hours. So let's have a look at a diagram which represents this structure. Firstly, we have the paragraph, which has a topic sentence that introduces the main idea of the paragraph. The topic sentence is divided into two parts, the topic and the controlling idea. The controlling idea then is explained through supporting sentences. And the supporting sentences are illustrated with examples and evidence. Now, some paragraphs may not have a concluding sentence. This is not always necessary, and it isn't customary for every paragraph to have one. However, if the paragraph is particularly long, a concluding sentence helps summarize the main points of the paragraph to the reader. It gives the reader a final comment on our topic and leaves them with the most important ideas to think about. Let's have a look at a paragraph which does have a concluding sentence. Gold, a precious metal, is prized for three important reasons. First of all, gold has a lustrous beauty that makes it suitable for jewelry and ornamental purposes. Secondly, it is resistant to corrosion. For example, an ancient Roman coin remains as untarnished today as the day it was minted 2,000 years ago. Furthermore, for many years gold has been used in hundreds of industrial applications. Its most recent use has been in astronauts' suits. Astronauts wear gold-plated heat shielding for protection outside the spaceship. In conclusion, gold is not only treasured for its durability and beauty, but also for its utility. Let's analyze this paragraph in terms of the TEE rule. Our topic sentence is, gold, a precious metal, is prized for three important characteristics. The topic is gold, and the controlling idea is that it is prized for three important characteristics. Right, now we must explain the controlling idea. Why is gold prized? What are those three characteristics? Well, firstly, it's beauty. Secondly, it's durability. And thirdly, its utility. And now that we've explained why it is prized, we can give examples of each of those three reasons. The first thing that makes it precious is its beauty. This is illustrated by citing jewelry, ornamental purposes. The second is its durability. Roman coins are used to illustrate how gold does not rust or corrode. And thirdly, it's prized for its utility. And here we have an example of how it's used in space technology. Finally, we insert a concluding sentence which summarizes what has been said in the paragraph and reiterates the topic sentence at the beginning of the paragraph. Let's analyze this paragraph in terms of the TEE rule. Our topic sentence is, gold, a precious metal, is prized for three important characteristics. The topic is gold, and the controlling idea is that it is prized for three important characteristics. Right, now we must explain the controlling idea. Why is gold prized? What are those three characteristics? Well, firstly, it's beauty. Secondly, its durability. And thirdly, its utility. And now that we've explained why it is prized, we can give examples of each of those three reasons. The first thing that makes it precious is its beauty. This is illustrated by citing jewelry, ornamental purposes. The second is its durability. Roman coins are used to illustrate how gold does not rust or corrode. And thirdly, it's prized for its utility. And here we have an example of how it's used in space technology. Finally, we insert a concluding sentence which summarizes what has been said in the paragraph and reiterates the topic sentence at the beginning of the paragraph. All right, now it's time to move on to two paragraphs which will be slightly different. These are the introductory paragraph and the concluding paragraph. If you watch the video lecture Writing Good Essays, you'll be aware that a typical essay consists of an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Now, the introductory paragraph will go into the introduction. Let's first look at that introductory paragraph. It's very, very important, and it must do three things. Firstly, it must state the topic of the assignment and briefly comment on its importance. It must capture the reader's attention and get straight to the point of the essay. Secondly, it must state the assignment's main argument or the main issue that's going to be discussed. You can often summarize the main argument in one or two sentences. Remember, a provocative argument grabs the reader's attention. And thirdly, it must give an indication of how you intend to answer the question. State your plan so that the reader knows what to expect. This is particularly important for undergraduate students. All right, let's have a look at an example of an introductory paragraph. This is an example of an essay for a marketing paper. Firstly, we have to state the essay's topic and capture our reader's attention. Let's try that. Marketers often quote Coca-Cola as being the greatest marketing success story in the Western world. However, they overlook a crucial competitor. The greatest marketing success in Western history is surely Christianity. Now next we must state the main issues to be discussed. Evolving from a corporate background with no infrastructure, no advertising budget, no mass communications, and situated in a geographical backwater, Christianity was not only marketed as a product to the entire Western world, but has excelled in product placement, having endured in the marketplace for over 2,000 years. And finally then, we must state how we intend to answer the question. This essay will examine the insurmountable odds that the Christian Church has faced in the past 2 millennia to keep Christianity a viable brand in the face of stiff competition from other world religions. Now, with that introduction, most readers will be keen to move on. All right, now we said that's the introductory paragraph. Now let's turn our attention to the concluding paragraph. After the introductory paragraph, the concluding paragraph is the next most important in your assignment. It's the last thing that the marker is going to read before giving you a grade for that assignment. We've all heard how important first impressions are. Well, with assignments, last impressions are just as important. So, what should your concluding paragraph do? Well, firstly, it should summarize the main points of that assignment. Here you should deal only with the main ideas discussed in the assignment in very, very few sentences. Try and use different words from what you used in the assignment, so that it's not a simple repeat of what has gone before. Use a thesaurus, but make sure you don't change the content of what you're saying, just the way in which you're saying it. Keep that concluding paragraph reasonably short, but not to the point where it's abrupt. The second thing your concluding paragraph should do is to state the assignment's main conclusions. And finally, your concluding paragraph must satisfy the reader that the question has been answered. Refer back to the question in your study guide and check that you've answered the question and that you've answered the whole question. Now, there are a couple of things that you shouldn't put into a concluding paragraph. Firstly, don't introduce any new material. Anything that hasn't been discussed in the body of the assignment. That's where it should be. New material goes into the body of the assignment. The concluding paragraph is a summary of what has gone before. A good way to check that you haven't introduced new information is to see if there are any references. If there are, check them carefully to see whether this is new information or not. Secondly, don't end with a meaningless generalization like, so we see there is nothing new under the sun. Make your conclusion original and striking. And the third thing to avoid is using a quotation at the end of the assignment. Use your own voice. Let your opinion come through, not somebody else's. Well, there you have it. Let's quickly recap on what we have spoken about in this video lecture. Firstly, we discovered what a paragraph is, a distinct piece of writing indicated by a new line. It consists of a number of sentences and focuses on only one idea. Then we looked at the types of paragraphs, the narrative, the persuasive, the descriptive, and the explanatory. We then turned our attention to the three qualities of a successful paragraph. These were the unity, coherence, and development required in a paragraph. Under unity, we examined the parts of a paragraph and learned about the topic sentence, which consisted of a topic and a controlling idea, and where it comes in the paragraph. Under coherence, we saw how all the sentences must hang together to build on the main idea. This was achieved by the repetition of key words, through the use of synonyms, by using pronouns, and by using transition words. When we looked at development, we saw that this was achieved through an explanation of the topic sentence and examples to illustrate our explanation. And finally, we learned the TEE rule and looked at how introductory and concluding paragraphs were different from other paragraphs. Well, that's all you need to know about writing perfect paragraphs every time. Stick to these rules and you will be amazed at how it will improve your writing.